Welcome to Unbiased and On the Fence, and I just lost Eileen, but you can check out this cool background that Angie S. made for me, and yeah, it's what was on the wallpaper or the tablecloth in Austin. There we go. Let me, I thought I lost you. I thought I was going to have to call you back up, Eileen. Are you there? Hello? There we go. Was I frozen for you? Am I coming through? Okay? Yeah, no?
Am I back?
Yeah, you're back.
It was so weird because like we were chatting before the show came on and then you just disappeared on me. I just went to black screen and I was like all alone.
Well, don't feel bad. I was all alone too. I started it and the screen went black and I'm like, what just happened? I'm like looking around and I was like, wait, Eileen's gone. That's what happened. So.
Does that happen because we have a better connection until we live stream, and then when we live stream we get like diluted?
Yeah, it could be. But you don't have it coming in on your end, so I was sending green. You know, it was like a nice strong signal, but it does have to split the workload. So
I've turned off everything in the house, so we're good to go. But it is my new 60 megabytes high speed Xfinity Wi-Fi. And nice. I did have them turn off the 5G. So I imagine if I left the 5G on, maybe we won't cut out. So I might have to change that.
Yeah, now mine came as like dual band as well with 5G and 4G. And it says in the directions 4G has a longer range, but 5G is faster. But it didn't say, hey, to disable 5G, do this. But you had somebody come out and they said they can disable it. So I need to go into the router settings and figure out.
That's how he did it. I went and bought my Netgear, so I have my own router and modem, and then I went to set it up myself, and it was very complicated for me. It's not like you plug it in and it turns on. So I paid Xfinity to come out and set up the Xfinity, and it took him a good hour. He knew what he was doing, and he just offered to me. He said, I've got two bands here for you. I've got your 4G, which I've been on for years now. I don't know, when did we upgrade from 3G? Like 2 years ago, maybe?
Right.
Oh, good. The kids are coming in now, getting the dogs barking, so they won't do that while we're meditating.
Hi, kids.
That was, yep. Shane and the whole show are saying hi to you guys.
Hello. Hello.
So if you wanted to take the dogs with you, I don't know. So because if they scratch, they will disturb the show. Yeah, you better let them in.
That would be interesting.
Of course, teenagers came in with like boatloads of food, so they want to keep the dogs outside their bedroom so they can eat the food, but then the dogs will be scratching through the whole show.
That's awesome.
I know, it's real life.
Yeah, that's cool though, you know?
That's like, I had no idea when they were going to walk in. I just texted him and said, the door's open.
That's sort of the beauty of being able to do this from anywhere in your home or whatever. Not need this expensive studio with all this expensive soundproofing.
Yeah.
You know? It's really quite all right.
Go to Alaska. Yeah, we could go anywhere in the world.
Yeah, you're breaking up a little bit for me. Probably all their phones logging on. That's how my kids are. They come in and all their phones get on Wi-Fi. Are you able... Am I frozen for you?
Phone.
Oh, there we go. There we go. You're back.
I'm gonna open my phone. I'm really sorry, guys. It looks like basic high-speed internet isn't doing the job.
Might have to turn back on the 5G, huh? Well, you know, the good thing about that is it's like we were talking before the show. They say that the 5G waves are really weak, so they don't penetrate the skull like you know, the 4G waves actually penetrate deeper through bone and tissue and stuff like that. So unless you've got a baby in the house, or, you know, I'd be concerned maybe with the pets because their skulls are thinner. Maybe it might affect them worse.
Yeah, like a 7-pound Yorkshire Terrier.
Yeah.
And a 12-pound poodle.
Yeah.
Sure, but you got to clear out the bathroom of all cleaning supplies because the puppy will eat it all. They're trying to dump the dogs now in the bathroom. So I'm getting my phone out, guys, because
backup Wi-Fi.
Because for some reason Sprint Wi-Fi is a little stronger signal than Xfinity Wi-Fi. It's just where I live, you know, and which is why I do all my production work on my phone. So I'll just go to Hangouts and see if I can pop in that way. There we go. And there we go. It's funny because Hangouts is asking me all kinds of things now. Like, it's like Hangouts has changed slightly.
A little bit of an echo there. Actually, it's still echoing. There we go.
You poor people in the chat room having to deal with me and all my technological stuff. Because, you know, I dumped Xfinity, the whole package, after Christmas, and I just have a Roku stick, and then they newly installed my Wi-Fi. Because last week I was just on my Sprint hotspot, and it didn't really go very well. But isn't this a pretty good signal coming through the phone?
Oh, it's awesome now. Yeah, you're really clear. The mic's not as good, but hey, you know.
Should I put on my headphones still? Do you think that's going to make a difference?
I think it'll probably be all right. I don't hear the demon voice coming through in the background.
Yes, do we have any growling? The nice people, I think it was April Lunsford, called it a growl like a lion instead of a demon voice, you know, in between us talking. Should I put my headphones on just in case?
Sure, you can, yeah.
Of course, this headphone has a speaker, and I don't know if that's a worse speaker than what we just had.
Oh, the mic itself on there?
Yeah, the mic,
it's not quite as clear, but it's a little less echoey, so I think it'll work.
So, do you prefer me with headphones and a mic, or take it off and just talk to the phone?
In my headphones, I think you sounded better the other way, but I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, I'd hate to have you switch it, and then other people are like, no, it was better for me, so I don't. Yeah, we'll
I don't know.
They can chime in the chat.
I don't know. And it's like, look, how should I hold my phone? Oh, yes, and I swim on Saturday, so I have wet hair, and I have this little microphone. I have this phone stand.
Yeah, that works. That totally works.
Do I look weird? Do I look weird talking through the phone?
No, it's actually nice and clear, so looks good.
Cool. So now maybe we can actually talk about topics except for my ongoing lifelong struggle with technology, you know?
It's fun though.
It never ends. It never stops for me.
I can't think of someone who can't relate with you, because even, you know, even for those of us who catch on quick, it's still kind of like difficult at first. You know, everything's hard until you know how to do it, right?
Well, I've been dealing with technology my whole life, especially in broadcasting, but we had technicians doing most of it for us. But I find that since I moved out of major cities, it's totally different because we don't get the same signals. It's not the same as like when I lived in the Chicago suburbs or around London. You know, then your technology is pretty solid and pretty stable. And once you get out to the boondocks, the boonies, you know, it just comes and goes.
Yeah. A little bit of an
Which I guess is not a bad thing, because people go to the countryside to get away from that stuff, and you really, really are getting away from it.
Yeah, and the bad side of it is that you're getting away from it, so things might be a little slower, but at least you're not dealing with the EMFs constantly while you're sleeping and all that stuff, you know.
Yeah, except for I live in a 20-unit apartment, and everybody's Wi-Fi goes right through our tiny little apartment, which is why I told them to turn the 5G off. I figured I'm getting enough 5G from everybody else, you know?
Yeah.
So, is that okay?
Yeah, that works. Actually, can you tilt it down some, or is it too... Will it make it fall forward?
Yeah, I can tilt it down. I can tilt it down until it, like, falls down because it's a phone. Let's see.
Okay, yeah, that's perfect.
Ta-da! It's balancing on a crystal behind a rock.
Okay, I'll pull it in a little bit. That way, let me line some things up here a little bit.
I don't think anybody cares. They're used to me waffling on for the first 10 minutes about trying to get the signal clear, right?
It's quite all right.
That's kind of funny. So I was going to ask you, what's going on this week? It's been a quick week. I feel like I just talked to you yesterday. I swear to God. Yeah,
I was actually about to ask you the same thing. I was going to say, well, did we actually have any topics or anything? We got on so quick that we didn't even discuss it.
Yeah, we never talk about topics anymore. We just get on and wing it. And I think that's how you are with most of your regular guests. You just like fly by the seat of your pants and whatever comes out, whatever comes up is on the table. And I wanted to see if you did the global reconnection with Case today from Everyday Masters.
Yes, I actually did. I actually fell asleep and woke up buzzing it at like 11:36 my time. So I don't know if I was coming. I don't know. It was pretty intense though. So I can only expect that it. See, I did first reconnection with them, and ever since then, even now, my hands are buzzing. If I ever put my attention on my hands, I still feel it. So I don't know that I would have got anything more from it because I've already done it. But
so they stayed with anyway. You. The effects linger. They don't just occur during the reconnection and then go away.
No, it was definitely a starting point for me, my reconnection with them. Yeah, the vibrating in the hands. It's like my hand chakras came alive or something. Yeah.
It's interesting that you say that. And before we go too far, please remind me to go get the cord and plug it in, because this is going to die and go poof and disappear before we're done with this show. I don't have it plugged in. It's interesting that you say that, because I've not done a reconnection with Case, and I'm waiting to go this year to somewhere close by. Even if it's Rochester, New York, that'll be closer than like Seattle, Washington for me. So I'm definitely going to do it with him this year, and we're like emailing occasionally back and forth to keep that door open. And I was wide awake during it because it was 12 o'clock my time, and I laid down to just meditate and get comfortable so that my body could kind of get in a floaty feeling instead of sitting up in a chair. And did anybody else in the comments get to do the reconnection, the global reconnection? Because I think a lot of people, like he was saying, like 500 people have been communicating with him that they were switched on all over the world. And I just like opened myself up. I grounded myself first, and I put myself in a protective bubble like we do on this show, because then I can relax and feel safe in the connection with other people's energy. It's just something I do before I connect with other people that I don't know, that I've not met or spoken to. You guys I'm getting to know, or I know. And my right hand started to twitch and shake, and the muscles were contracting and the fingers were moving, but not like in a normal way. They were like really jerky. Like, I imagine it's like if you touched muscle with an electrical wand and you shocked a muscle, it would be that kind of a twitch. And then it moved to my solar plexus and my tummy. And I didn't like bend in two like some people do on his videos. I just, my whole middle contracted and released and contracted and released. And it was like comfortable, not painful, but odd. Definitely a sensation I've never felt before. Then my left hand started contracting and shaking and doing things. Then my neck and my head, and my legs never did. And then I just felt really light and kind of relaxed and peaceful. Until it ended. And then I saw, because my eyes were closed, bright fuchsia pink. Bright, bright, bright pink. And I didn't expect to see any colors, because I'm not, what's that name, Shane, for people who like see, when they hear music, they see colors or numbers. Have you heard of that?
I've heard of it, but I don't know what the name is.
Some people have it.
Yeah. Like Pharrell has it.
Synesthesia.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Who has it?
The recording artist Pharrell, the guy who did the Happy song.
Does he?
Yeah.
So I think I just remembered it's synesthesia, and I didn't expect to see a color because I usually don't see colors in meditation unless I ask myself to. Like when we meditate and we ask for a color to come through our heart, I'll usually pick green, you know, a heart color, a healing color, and then I can see it because I'm picking it. But this color just came to me on its own at the end of the meditation, and I must say I was really impressed with the unusual feelings of currents and electricity going through different parts of my body.
Yeah, that was really cool. Yeah, I that was the time that I talked about how I slipped into this vision of being in the halls of Amenti, and I couldn't remember what that was, and then I looked into it and found out it was like the Akashic Records halls or something. And
Yeah, Edgar Casey says that the halls of the Amenti hold the Akashic records.
yeah, so I like immediately after I had to reconnect, and Case had called me back, and we're talking. I'm telling them about all this stuff. I can't remember if it was right before we were about to hang up or like after we hung up. Then all of that came back to me, and I'm like, how did I forget about that? You know, did I fall asleep or, you know, it didn't
Maybe
feel
you
like.
buried it deep.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was very weird though. And it was, you know, it was like these, they were square halls. They had like, what do you call those, hieroglyphs on every square of the wall. Like every part of it was completely covered. And the question that popped in my mind was, are these the halls of Amenti? So when I woke up, I'm like, where did I hear that from? You know, I couldn't remember where. And it was from the Emerald Tablets of Thoth that I remembered
Yes.
reading about that. So then I got to looking into it, and that's when I made the connection with the Akashic Records. But that's weird. So it's like he reconnected me with the Akashic Records, or the Akash, as some people call it. So I don't know. It was weird, though. It was
And
really
possibly
cool.
possibly a previous lifetime when you were working with guarding the halls of Amenti, because supposedly Edgar Casey says they're under, I think, the left paw of the Sphinx.
Uh,
And when I lived out there in the 70s and late 70s, early 80s, there was nothing found underground except for that boat, that giant boat that they found buried
mm-hmm.
in front of the Cheops pyramid. And now they say there's underground tunnels all over the pyramids and the Sphinx,
Mm-hmm.
and that they're just not being explored, or that they're not opening them to the public. You know, it's not something we can go and see, but they say they're there.
Yeah. See, I thought it was under one of the pyramids, but I could be wrong. That's just one of those things where it's more like a.
You could have been. That's just Edgar Casey. Edgar Casey could be wrong. He saw it under the paw of the Sphinx.
Yeah.
But that's all in the same area. You can easily walk from the pyramids to the Sphinx. They're very close.
Right.
And you know, all this ancient architect stuff that I've been watching on YouTube, there's a couple of good channels, and they're really the experts now of us, not the experts, are really showing how the Sphinx is completely dated differently and worn differently to the pyramids. So they
Much
don't
older,
even think
right?
that that's much older.
Right.
You know, if the pyramids are 5,000 years old, they're saying the Sphinx is at least 12 or 10,000 years old to 20 to 35,000 years old, like super duper old, with all that water wear around the base of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fascinating.
And now we're back to ancient Egypt again. It's been coming up more
I
and more
love
for
it.
me.
I love it. But, you know, I don't know. I kind of feel like maybe all of our mythological information shouldn't always be coming from the Middle East, from Babylon, which is the Sumerian tablets were in Babylon, Sumer, Mesopotamia. And then the Hebrew Bible came out of that. And then Christianity, the Christian Bible came out of that. I should say Hebrew, Talmud, and Torah. One was written, one was spoken. And then the Quran came out of that. So I think it would be nice maybe for me to focus on learning more about Celtic or Norse mythology and learn about their heroes and their religious gods, and, you know, and try to kind of expand my awareness of human mythology and religious belief,
Mm-hmm.
and kind of get out of the Middle Eastern structure, because everything I ever talk about or think about always brings me back to, you know, ancient Egypt or Babylon.
Yeah. That's strange
And
how
it's a
that
big
works.
world.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a big world. I think it's my focus, maybe.
Mm-hmm. I think
Maybe the
it's,
Western focus is on Middle Eastern religion.
yeah, I think it's interesting that you actually spend a lot of time there. You say you didn't move there until what, the late 70s, early 80s?
I was in Trinidad from 11 to 13, and then I went to Egypt at 13.
Mm-hmm.
But because my parents were split up, I would spend time in Chicago and Cairo from 13 until 18. You know, we would try to get as much time in with my dad, and my mom was in Chicago. And then when I was 18, I just packed my bags, turned up on his doorstep. He thought it was going to be for a long summer, and I just stayed for about 2.5, 3 years. I left when I was around 21.
Hmm. Very nice. So you
Yeah, I
ever miss it
started.
and want to move back to Egypt?
You know, I used to have dreams that I went back to Egypt, and that I didn't look up. My first love was in Egypt, and he was Arab, and his father was the general under Sadat. So he was very highly educated and highly placed. You know, he spoke like 5 languages, and
Mm-hmm.
he was an artist. And in this dream, I would be back in Cairo and the suburbs, Heliopolis, Mahdi, all over the places I knew. And I couldn't find him. And I was like, oh, it's time to go. And I was like, no, I can't go until I see all the people I used to know and love. So that was like a reoccurring dream. And you know what? Metal Rabbit had a dream. I hope I'm okay to share this. Metal Rabbit. She had a dream that she met with you and me, and I think it had something to do with Egypt. And she said, I'll have to go back and read it. It's a very short email. And she said, I had a dream about you meeting up with you and Shane and somebody else, but I can't remember if it was Aluna. Aluna? Who's Aluna? Who does the
Aluna Ash?
yeah, I think it was Aluna Ash.
Interesting.
Yeah, and she said, I don't know if it's just a dream or if we're having astral meetings, you know, which I said, I replied back, I said, you know, we could be meeting up in our astral projected dream time spaces. I mean, some people say the astral is negative entities and emotions. Everything I've read from Eastern religion says that the astral is all around your body, and that's where your emotions come from and go. You know, it's just a different dimension of your being is the astral.
Yeah, and I think sometimes people like me don't know what to call things, so they'll call it the astral and it's something
Yeah.
else because I don't know. You know.
Well, there's the etheric.
Right.
I did learn when I could see. I started seeing auras in Egypt when I was about 12 or 13, right when I moved out there with my mom and dad. They were just in the process of my mom decided that wasn't the place for her, and she went to Chicago. And I met a lady from Lebanon called Selwa, and I told my mom and I told Selwa that I could see colors around people, and they just taught me how to see colors and be comfortable with it. And that's when I came back and studied, well, what am I seeing? What is the astral project? What is the color I'm seeing off of people's heads? Different colors around their shoulders, different colors around their middle. You know, the colors would change based on their body. And I could always see it better against a white background.
Mm-hmm.
That was the easiest way to see the aura. So I studied what color meant and color therapy. And then it kind of got into the etheric body, which is like what we're seeing when we're seeing auras. We're seeing the thinking mind all over your body,
Mm-hmm.
you know, which is really interesting. And then if you go out much further than 3 feet, you're supposed to get into the astral body of the person. So like the first 3 feet around you, at least, maybe 3 to 10 feet is your etheric body. It's your thinking body. And then past that is your feeling body, your astral body. So when they say like we astral project, out of body projections while we're sleeping,
Mm-hmm.
that's got to go way past your astral body. That's got to go into like an astral dimension, don't you think?
I don't know. It does seem like, I don't know, when I think about that time when I had the sleep paralysis and I left my body, I never got very far away, but
Really?
from what I hear, you can. It's just people don't think to go beyond that or to fly up through your roof or you feel confined to your space. And I didn't realize what was happening, so I didn't even try anything cool. I was just like, you know, back in my body, out of my body, back in my body. I went through this loop. I think I was just reading about it.
Yes, I heard that.
Yeah. So
yeah, in and out, in and out, in and out. Well, I've astral projected while sleeping over the house, wherever I'm sleeping, and out into space. But I never go past space. So I'm still in the human dimension. I'm still in the 3D, maybe 4D with time frame. I haven't, while I'm awake, gone past our... And some people don't believe in space, do they? And they don't believe in stars. But if you astral project, you're going from your thoughts of what the stars would look like and what space would be like. Mm-hmm. And I've gotten into that space, but who knows if it's a hologram, it doesn't look like that anyway. I just think it does. I've been conditioned to think that space looks a certain way.
Exactly.
And then when you astral project, your brain just kind of projects what you're expecting to see so you don't get scared.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I did that when I was like first meditating in, I guess, late teens, early 20s, and I would imagine I was astral projecting. I don't know if I really was or not, but I'd leave the earth and go explore around in space or whatever. But I still, you know, I went through years of kind of convincing myself you were just imagining that. So I don't really know, you know what I mean? If I really
who was it who said, was it on your show or somebody else said, without the imagination, you cannot experience anything?
I think it was Candace. Yeah, Candace Crawl Goldman.
Yeah, it was Candace's show.
Yeah.
With you. Mm-hmm. And, you know, she's right. Without imagination, imagine toddlers and children and how they learn through play. Yeah. They imitate being mummies and daddies and cooking food and building trucks and blowing things up and, you know, building things. And it's all imaginary, but in their little minds, it's like real.
And if you think about it, if you're like, say, a building designer, you know, and you come up with this awesome, you know, building in your mind, you're imagining it first. So everything really starts as imagination before it,
there you go.
You know, goes from imagination to paper to reality, you know, to blueprints.
Every car,
yeah,
every table, every piece of clothing, every piece of jewelry, every single thing came from somebody's imagination before they gathered the materials to build it.
Yeah.
So when people say, well, I was astral traveling last night and I saw this and I felt this, but it could be my imagination. What's the difference between imagination and real at that point?
I totally agree. Yeah. I think, and that's like what, you know, what I've talked before, like humans have this tendency to create division where there shouldn't be, you know what I mean? Like whether it's religion or putting God in a box of how he must operate and all of that. We just have that tendency to bring up that separation, but a lot of times it's like
Mandela affected, non-Mandela affected. Now we have a new separation, right? There's those who are awake and those who aren't. But I name my channel One. You know this, and you know me, because I don't see the separation anymore. I think the Course in Miracles helped me, and other books and resources helped me get to the point of non-separation, first with humans, then I got to non-separation with animals and bugs, and then I got to non-separation with plants, and finally I got to non-separation with minerals. And once you feel non-separate from everything that is earth, right, then you can easily be non-separated with alien life or non-terrestrial life. You see yourself as them and they are you, but they're just like on a different plane, dimension, or planet.
Yeah. And I enjoyed your one of your newer videos. I saw a couple of them that I hadn't seen that you just put out, I think, like a day apart.
Thanks.
Well, one was sort of geared towards younger people, but the other one, you went into that whole thing with the Course in Miracles and all that. But
thank you.
Last week, though, you did the one about your ET experience. I really, really enjoyed that. Matter of fact, I was in the car, I think it was yesterday or the day before, and I was like, who did I hear that cool story from or whatever? And you know, it's funny because I just automatically started thinking of all these other channels and stuff, feeling like I didn't know the person. I'm like, wait a minute, that was Eileen's story. You know what I mean? But I totally enjoyed the part, well, all of it, but the part that had come back to me was just the whole thing about the elk or whatever it was that like ran right through your vehicle. You and your sister saw it, and it's like, what the heck? You know what I mean?
How?
Yeah.
How did we hallucinate the elk? We both saw it, so it was a joint hallucination, or was the elk real and our car dematerialized momentarily? It ran right through the back seat.
Yeah.
But at that point, after 4 hours of missing time, you know, we could have seen like, you know, leprechauns running through our back seat, and we wouldn't have been surprised because we were so in shock from what we had already experienced that it was like, well, there's one more weird thing that happened tonight.
Yeah.
But I do have something to show you. I wouldn't have shown you guys if you didn't bring up my contact video.
Yeah,
and
cool.
That is, I've not woken up with a triangle on me for about, I don't know if you can see it. Let's see. Do you see my hand or not?
Oh, there we go. Yeah.
Okay. I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah, a little red triangle. Well,
Yeah.
can you go point it downward just a little bit? I'm just out of view. It's there. Well, you need to go lower. It's not in the camera. I don't know if people got to see it. There you go. Well, kind of went out of view again.
I don't know how to get it in the camera. Where's my camera? Okay. I don't know.
There
What
we
if
go.
I
can see it there.
really far out?
Yeah. That's strange. Is it sore or anything?
It doesn't hurt at all, but it looks like a blister or a burn. I don't know if I can go in on it. I don't know. Are you still seeing it?
Yeah. That's wild.
Yeah, I woke up with a red triangle on my right arm that doesn't hurt at all. If I press on it, I put some petrol oil on it.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like a burn or a blister.
Yeah. That's wild.
But I haven't been cooking unless I cooked while I was sleeping. I'm going to go get, while I'm carrying you guys around with me, I'm going to go get the cord and plug you in.
Oh, yeah. Good
Yeah,
idea.
it's like
What's your
a little
battery
red.
at?
Let's see. Oh, I lost you when I went to see the battery.
Oh, it's okay. You're
There we
back.
go. 40%. 40%.
Oh, okay.
So I haven't had a triangle mark on me for years and years and years. The last one was about 4 years ago, and it was white. It was pure white, flaky skin on my ankle in the shape of a triangle that could not scrub off. Even with like a loofah, I couldn't get the white, flaky skin to scrub off. So...
That's strange.
Yeah. But I know, you know, as I get older, I hate to say this, but being in menopause, I have far fewer visitations than when I was, you know,
Yeah.
not in menopause. So how's this? I'll put the phone down and I'll come back to it. There we go. So I was like,
Nice artwork.
are you guys not... Are you not seeing me so often because I'm not producing eggs anymore? I don't know.
Do you ever feel like you have hybrid children out there somewhere?
Yeah, I do. I recall dreams of waking up knowing that I held them and that they were like all, you know, maybe one, maybe two, all different ages. Like I would remember them starting at 2 years old. Then the next time I'd see them, they'd be, you know, 1, 4 years old. And then up to like 10 or 11 years old, and then no contact with them after they're 11 or 12 years old. So that's through my dream state, though. That's like waking up going, wow.
Now, do they look
That
like
was
humans
really
or hybrids or, you know?
They look like really skinny humans, and very fair, you know, almost like you would expect humans looking if they were out of the sun, if there was no sunshine. You know, you'd be pale, wouldn't you? You'd be extremely pale.
Life on the spaceship.
They didn't look really healthy. They did definitely, they look frail. So from a human standpoint, we associate frailty with not being healthy, but they could be perfectly healthy and just be super skinny and light and delicate, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but we consider that anemic and anorexic. And we're like, that doesn't look healthy, but you know, what do I know? That could be perfect health.
Were their heads bigger, the eyes bigger, anything like that?
No, heads and eyes bigger, heads normal size, but really skinny, thin, frail bodies. So when you put a skinny body on a normal size head, it makes the head look huge.
Yeah, that's true.
You know?
Yeah.
You got this tiny little body, but the heads were like a normal to slightly smaller size, but with even smaller bodies. So I don't really understand it. I told that in my video. I said, this is what I think. but I certainly don't know what's going on. I don't think I'm supposed to know everything. Like when I leave this whatever we're in, then I might know, you know, like maybe you're not allowed to know while you're in 3D.
Right.
I feel they're family. I feel they're my cosmic family. I always have. My sister, she has the same experiences. I have them. My mother had them. You know, it's something generational. And it's something that all the men in our family have experienced with us. So they don't think we're crazy because they hear the booms, the sonic booms. They see the lights. They see the missing time, and they totally believe it. And by coming into contact with us, like as husbands and sons, that might literally just involve them in the plan, get them in the program. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Did you, was it in your video that you talked about going to like a hypnotherapist that specializes? Was that your video? Or was it somebody?
Yeah, I would like to go to a hypnotherapist who specializes
And
in
go separate
missing
from your
time.
sister too, right?
And do it separate to her and then compare notes and see, because we were in the car together when we were like drawn up a mountain somewhere into the middle of nowhere. And then for some strange reason, we parked the truck and got out of it. And then when
Didn't
we
take
came
your flashlights. That was weird.
we didn't take our flashlights. We came to in the woods, the deep, dark woods, like at 1 or 2, 3 in the morning, in the mountains, like 10,000 feet up. I mean, we were so scared that we wouldn't even get out of the truck at night to go to the bathroom because there were things out there crawling around that we couldn't see, like mountain lions, bear.
Yeah. And you weren't you on opposite sides of the car? Like one of you were.
That's what's so weird. She was dropped off like 300 feet behind the truck in the woods, and I was dropped off 300 feet or so, not exactly. That's an estimate. Like isn't that like, is 300 feet a football pitch? Is that how big a football field is, or is it 600?
It's 100 yards, so yeah, I guess that would be about a football field, isn't it? Isn't it 3 foot?
Yeah,
2
we were
yards,
like a foot. We were about a football field away, and I was directly in front of it, and she was directly behind it. So if we got dropped off in 2 different places, were we even together during the missing time? We could have very easily been
in 2 different
nabbed at the
crafts
same time.
or something. Yeah,
Yeah, different crafts, different people, different rooms. But I've been watching a little bit about other people's alien abduction testimony on YouTube since I put out my own, because I think we, the people, need to do the disclosure because we're not going to get it from the government. So if all the people who have ever had contact or missing time come forward, boom, there's your disclosure,
like
right?
Dust in the
say,
Wind
wow.
as well. He
inspired me. He did his. He and I were commenting about it for a while, that I had it, and he said he had it, and he said he was going to do a video on it, and he did it. And I was like, yay, Dustin, that's awesome. And I'm going to do mine. I was like, you know, it's like a domino effect, isn't it?
Yeah.
Maybe somebody will see my video and put out their contact story.
Yeah.
And, it's like I was watching somebody else's contact story, and I wrote in the comment, I know this is real now because you heard the sonic boom. And nobody who makes up contact, if they make it up, they don't mention this extreme crashing sound that goes along with being put back. Nobody remembers it when they're going. People in the house don't wake up when you're going, but as soon as you're put back, there's some kind of a sonic boom or crash. And that is like, people say that's interdimensionally, that you're, coming through like, isn't that what happens when a jet gives a sonic boom? Doesn't it like go faster than the speed of sound or something?
Yeah, I think the sound that's being produced is staying with itself. Like, like if you can sort of imagine, like if you were to pour out a pitcher of water, and then you're lowering the pitcher of water at the same speed that it's pouring out, then it's going to bunch up into a big ball of liquid, right? So it's sort of like the sound is all building up because they're traveling at the speed of sound. So you get, 5 seconds of sound all at one moment when it hits you. You know what I'm saying? If that makes sense. So
Well, when you're being returned to your bedroom, because most borrowings, I call it borrowed, not taken.
Yeah.
Because you're always put back. I don't know anybody personally who was borrowed and taken and never put back. So when you're being borrowed, when you're put back into your room, you get a mini sonic boom in the room. And it is, to the ears, it's huge.
And it actually vibrated the fridge door open downstairs, right?
Yeah. Downstairs, the fridge was right below my bedroom. This was in London. Woke up everybody in the house. Everybody came running in to see what was going on. And then the next morning, we found that the freezer and fridge door had been shaken open, and a lot of the contents were in a pile of mush on the floor. You know, the frozen peas weren't frozen anymore, and, you know, the ice cream, everything was, you know. So once he said about the boom, I wrote in his comment, I know that you are taken. This is awesome because you mentioned the short grays and the tall grays, and you mentioned the sonic boom. And my cosmic family, I'm sure there's loads out there, like, you know, people listen to Corey Good and it's blue avians. I've never seen a blue avian, but I have seen the small grays. Mm-hmm. They're adorable. They're like little soft, gushy insects. Like the way that they're like an insect is their eyes, and they act like a little hive. You know, they're like, if you're watching the bees run around and do their jobs, that's kind of like watching the grays. Mm-hmm. But their skin is not insectoid. Their skin is soft, like human, right. You know, soft, mm-hmm. Leathery, soft. And then the only other ones that I've seen no praying mantis. I've seen no blue avians. What else are there? I've seen the tall grays. And the tall grays are so tall and skinny that I think I've also seen the Nordics, and I think they turn themselves into Nordic. You know how they say that aliens will often be seen as a wolf or a bear cub on the side of the road, or an owl?
Or an elk. I'm just playing.
Or elk?
I don't know.
Or was that a real elk and somebody just saved our life? I don't know.
That's true.
But I think those tall grays can turn themselves into Nordic, so that when you look at them, you're like, you're beautiful. Tall, slim, very fair, very light eyes, very light skin, kind of like the what did you call the children? What were they? Yeah,
the
not
hybrids.
Crossbred.
Hybrids.
The hybrids, that's it, yeah. Kind of like them, you know, really delicate and soft and beautiful. Mm-hmm. Tall, skinny, fair.
Yeah.
I don't think these people get a lot of sunshine. You know, I think wherever they are, if it's another dimension or just if we do have space and they're traveling around the galaxy, they're not getting a lot of direct sunlight. So they look extremely pale, which is okay. Maybe that's like healthy.
Yeah. I think it's your camera's focusing on your desk and not your face. You look a little blurry. Just a little bit. There we go. Okay, that's what it was. Sure? Yeah, you're good now.
Because when I said that, my camera jumped. It just moved across. I've got it against a rock on the laptop. And when I said that, it just jumped across the laptop. I'm like, okay, maybe they don't want me to talk about this stuff. You didn't see it jump? I was like, I had to go pick it up.
Maybe they jerked the cord on it or something.
It looked like something jerked the cord. And there's nothing in the room with me right now.
Yeah, the dog's in the bathroom, right?
Dogs in the bathroom, kids in the bedroom, just me and you guys.
little gray alien behind the desk.
Something pulled my cord. Oh yeah, it was when I was talking about the Nordics, so maybe I'm not supposed to do that.
So are the Nordics the tall white aliens, or is that something different? Okay.
No, then they wear long white robes.
Yeah.
When they're not just appearing as tall, naked grays.
Right, because
I don't know the connection. Huh?
I've watched the Rudolph the Tall White Alien channel a few times. I think Flor Brun had mentioned
I haven't seen that.
So I went and watched him, but you know, I don't really know. You know, it's like
I'm borrowed all the time since I was 5, and I don't even know. I don't know, and I'm not going to make it up and go. You know, I've read too many of those books where they're like, "This is why they're coming, and this is what they're doing," and I'm like, "How do you know?"
Yeah. Like, even if they told you, how do you know they didn't lie to you? So yeah, you gotta
Exactly. How do you know they didn't lie to you if that's what you think? So that's why I hope people understand that this is disclosure. My video is disclosure, because at the end of the day, I say, this is what I remember happening to me, and I really don't have the answers. I feel like it's a genetic thing, like we're mixing genes and chromosomes of different humanoid animals and species from different dimensions and different planets. And I don't feel it's a bad thing. I don't feel it's a negative thing at all.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it could be something as simple and optimistic as, say, in 10,000 years, 100,000 years, the Earth is no longer habitable because of changes in the solar system or galaxy. Well, maybe they don't want to lose the whole human species forever. You know, maybe they're getting the human species ready to live somewhere else that is going to be habitable for another 10 million years, or, you know,
like
it could be something as
somewhere else.
Yeah.
And we don't know it or something. Yeah.
Yeah, and maybe the atmosphere is methane instead of oxygen, so they have to crossbreed with a species that already lives on a methane planet.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm speculating here, but it could be something as positive as that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, totally. And you know, I think that's sort of our problem as humans, is that we always default to something negative. You know, whether it's chemtrails or anything, and it's like, well, you know, there's positive possibilities here. You don't have to always say, well, it's got to be one of these 5 negative things. You know, it could be, you know, there could be positive stuff with it. There could be maybe negative side effects, but maybe the overall reasoning behind things is positive and
is good.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm always.
You and I were talking about that, and Mike from My Skies 5D and Dead GPK. We're like, okay, we know they're chemtrails, but maybe there's a good reason for them. Yeah. Maybe the chemtrails are actually stopping some kind of radiation that would result in an extinction level event. Yeah. So maybe chemtrails are good.
Right.
So I just bless them, whether they're good or bad, because if you bless them and you give them your love and you clear and clean them, if they're good for you, that makes them better. And if they're bad for you, that helps to make them good, you know?
Yeah, totally. Well, speaking of which, that was a good segue into the topic for tonight. Did you have any suggestions or anything?
No, we did Jane's last week, which was loving and healing the earth. And I was in live streams all day. And Jane said if nobody puts anything forward, she would like to see us do something positive about removing the negative structure in the matrix. Can you, I mean, we don't have to do that. We could do that another week unless you've got one or somebody's contacted you.
No, I don't have anything. I think that's a good one. I like that. Yeah.
Okay, so how do we word that positively? Because basically we're saying we want to bring down the cabal. We want to end the Illuminati rule of the planet because they're the negatives, they're selfish, they're greedy. How do we do that in a positive way, with positive words?
I think just ask for, I guess, ever-expanding positive vibrations.
Leadership?
Yeah, because that's something that wouldn't expire. You know, you always want things to constantly increase for the positive of the world. So it's sort of like last week's, but more of a spiritual matrix sort of view at, you know, healing the earth.
Because we can't get rid of the matrix. A lot of people go, let's bring down the matrix. But the matrix is the structure of the environment that allows us to interact with each other and interact with the environment. So we have to have a matrix of some kind, right?
Even like Gosha was talking about, there was like even, you know, multiple levels of the matrix. So there's like a 3D level and a 5D level. And so even at that, even the way you think of that, if you pulled it down, it would freak a lot of people out if they just started seeing 5D creatures running around the street. So, you know, and that sort of gets into what we were talking about. You have to be kind of careful where you direct your intentions, because you might inadvertently, you know, send people into fear because all of a sudden, you know, people are comfortable where they're at. So how do we increase the positive, you know, vibes without, you know, I don't know.
If humans as a group are not yet comfortable with meeting aliens, other life forms from off of the planet, how could we possibly bring down the 3D structure of their reality without them totally freaking out?
Well, how
That's a
about
good point.
reducing fear and increasing love as it relates to the matrix? Because
Yeah.
they're sort
And
of
what
polar
about,
opposites of each other, fear and love, and you know, for people who are scared to move to that next level, it is out of fear. It's like, well, I don't want to meet aliens. I don't want
it's
this. I
out
don't want
here.
that. It's fear,
Yeah.
which is sort of the
Yeah.
polar opposite of love, you know?
Yeah. Even hate is fear, and envy is fear, and it all boils down to fear of loss
Yeah,
of some sort. Okay, I will do my best to word it so that we can join together to increase the positivity and love and decrease the fear as the matrix, whatever it is, guys, you decide whether it's holographic or string theory or what is it, digital? What's the digital one called?
did you say
Um, what's
matrix?
a digital matrix that people believe in now, where like a computer is doing all this? Simulated.
Simulation. Yeah.
If you think it's a simulated one, that's fine with me. We'll let you believe whatever you want to believe, but make it more positive, loving, and less fear.
Exactly. I like that.
Okay.
This one's gonna push you, isn't it? It's like challenging.
It is pushing me
This is like a
because
boss
you
level
get into
here.
these you get these negative words like cabal, Illuminati, Illuminators, and you're meditating with negativity, right?
Yeah,
So this
exactly.
one's stretching me. Thanks, Jane. You got two in a row, Jane. I had somebody in the comments live 2 weeks ago say, do you remember when we did the show and we said we meditated that whatever people needed in our community and in the global love light working community, that they get it? And we had somebody come through in the comments live 2 weeks ago. You and I didn't catch it because we can't see the comments always during the show. I can't see any, saying that she had a real financial boost, that she was really struggling financially, and she did the meditation that we get exactly what we need right now to help us along our way. And she had a real unexpected financial gain. And she said, thank you to the show. So thank you very much for sharing that with us, for letting us know that you're actually receiving in this process.
Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
so that was
encouraging.
cool.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, very encouraging. Okay, so usually I just click off, which I can't do on my phone, but maybe I can lay my phone flat, but then maybe you can't hear me. Because you don't want to watch me meditate. I'm going to look really weird. We really have to black the screen out. Because I close my eyes and I get really close to it and I kind of go.
Okay. I can just minus out the thing and we can look at my beautiful desktop here. So.
Can you minus me out? Is that what you're going to do?
Yeah. Actually, let me.
That sounds terrible. I'm being minus down.
Okay, that way you don't have to.
All right. You took yourself out, but I can still see me.
Okay.
Can you still see me, Shane?
Nope.
I don't know if you can still see
I
me.
couldn't see you. But I muted it, so I couldn't say anything to you. But no, you're gone.
So you really.
It's just going to be the desktop with a like an ocean scene. So.
Awesome. So can you wait until I say, Shane, can you bring me back?
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Awesome.
Okay.
Awesome. Okay, guys, I'm having a sip of water here. Can you hear me okay? I know you have to keep clicking on and off, but is my voice level high enough?
Yeah, it's good.
Awesome.
Okay, I'm muting myself, but I won't bring you back till you say the word.
Thank you so much. Okay, and thanks, guys, for bearing with me with all my changing networks and Wi-Fi and phones and all that good stuff. So, okay, I got it. I got tonight's meditation. Thank you, Jane, again. And I think we just need to start the usual way by just kind of moving around and getting comfortable where you're sitting, where you're standing. Because I know Go-Kart Bob likes to stand when he meditates. Or laying down, whatever's most comfortable. Get comfortable and move things around so that you can be kind of stationary for about 10 minutes. And then just take a really deep, relaxing breath in and hold it just for a few moments. And when you exhale it, exhale out any negativity that may have come your way in the last week. Now breathe again in, inhale deeply and hold it for a few moments. And this time, exhale any stress that might be anywhere held within your body. And finally, take a nice deep inhale, extend your diaphragm in your tummy. As you fill up your lungs, hold it. And this time on the exhale, instruct your body to completely relax. And now we're going to start breathing in through our hearts or our heart chakra and out of our hearts. And we're going to breathe in a comfortable pace for you and breathe out, just normal breaths in and out through your heart center, through your heart chakra. And now, as we continue to breathe in through our heart chakra, we're going to bring a light, a color of light in with each breath. And then we're going to exhale that light with each breath. And the color can be any color that you choose for right now, right here tonight. It's going to work with your intention tonight. And now we're going to send a grounding cord from our root chakra all the way down through the building that you're in, all the way down through to the center of the earth. Let it go down to the middle as far as it needs to go. And let that grounding cord of light from your root chakra, which is at the base of your spine, spread out like a tree root in all directions when it hits the middle of the earth. And the color of that is usually silver or gold, but you can pick a special color for your grounding cord. That keeps you here and centered on earth while you meditate very, very deeply. And as we're going to continue breathing in this color of love light coming from God, coming from source of all life, coming from your higher self, you get to choose. We're going to exhale it into a bubble of light that surrounds you. You're going to breathe it in through your heart chakra. Let it fill up your whole body, up to your head, down to your feet, down your arms and legs. And you're going to exhale that color out into this bubble of light that surrounds you, like a cocoon or like an egg. This bubble of light is your protection. It's your protective bubble of light as you join with other people to create a super energetic prayer, a super energetic intention, a super energetic request. And we're going to fill that bubble of light around us, over our heads, under our toes, around our middles, so that we're sitting comfortably and breathing in this beautiful, healing, clear light. And now the last thing we're going to do, it comes from the Heart Maths group and Lynne McTaggart, Power of 8. We're going to imagine being in a beautiful place. And that beautiful place can be someplace you've actually been, and it can be different every time. Or it can be an imaginary place. So long as it makes you feel peaceful and safe, relaxed, and full of joy, happiness, just good feelings for being in this place. And now we're going to focus our intention tonight on bringing more positivity and more love into the structures that humans have created to govern themselves. That's bringing more love and more positivity, more understanding, more compassion, more cooperation, more negotiation into governments all over the world, into your government, wherever you live, locally, nationally, globally, or spherically, if you believe we live on a flat plane or a sphere. Well, no, a sphere is round. However you see it, imagine this peaceful, loving positivity coming into the governmental structures all over Earth. And now imagine that same love light coming from you and coming from us, sending more love, more peace, more cooperation, more compassion into the justice systems that operate all over Earth. And let's now spread this love light, this individual love light that we've created, and our group powerful love light energy, and send it into all of the human structures that have been created to serve humanity. That would include the finance systems and the people who run the finances. That would include education. That would include pharmaceuticals and medicine. That would include energy.
All right, I guess that wasn't a moment of silence. That was pretty deep in there. That's funny. Okay, so let me see. It looks like we lost her. So yeah, I was waiting and I was like, wait a minute. Is she gone here or what? Okay, let me see if... Well, that was awesome. Yeah, no, I think she got disconnected. Okay, I guess, let's see if I can pull her back really fast here. Sorry, that's kind of loud. I'll mute it for a second. She's probably deep in meditation right now, and she's like, why is my phone ringing? Okay. All right, I guess we should release our grounding cord and spread that energy out throughout the world, and guess we can call this one a wrap. Let me see here. Go-kart Bob. She went to the 5th level. Yeah, she just morphed right out of here, didn't she? That's awesome. Well, I'm sure she was about to wrap it up anyway, so... Yeah, it did feel amazing. Yeah, and because I had her minus that, I didn't even realize it because, you know, I just saw the desktop like you guys did, so... But at any rate, it was good. Let me see here. Whoops. Okay. Well, I guess with that, we'll wrap this one up. And I've got some things scheduled, but I don't know what's next, really. So if you want to know, just go to uotf.net, and we will figure out Yeah, www.uotf.net, and you can keep an eye on the schedule. And it does give it to you in your time zone, so that's pretty cool. I think it's just depends on whatever your schedule is like. So with that, we'll wrap it up. Lots of love and light to each and every one of you guys. Have a good one. If you'd like to support the work I do, go to paypal.me/UOTF. Thanks.